काम लाओ रुका हुआ हूँ काम के लिए no more work please. I wasn't creating or directing the show, so my collaboration with her is just as an employee to a boss. I'm way better than people think I am. Between Siddharth Gupta, the creator of Apharan, who also directed the first season, and Varun Badola, who wrote all the dialogues, and my own little research, but mostly just being guided by them. And Varun is from Uttarakhand, and he understands the language, and he writes so beautifully. So basically just talking with him and trying to sound with his rhythm is actually was more valuable than anything else. I think Varun Badola and Siddharth Gupta get all the credit for how well I did what I did. If you like a character in a movie and you like saying their dialogues, it's the same thing, like sometimes just in your normal life, suddenly you'll start sounding like Amitabh Bachchan or Scarface or something, because it's just a part of you.
Yeah.
So like every now and then, inappropriately, I'll swear like Rudra swears just out in the market, and everyone finds it very funny. Because if you don't learn the right lessons, then you're always feeling regret. So I'd rather not feel regret. I'd rather learn the lesson and move on. You're always a little sillier in the past. You know what I mean? Like you look at yourself and you're like younger and stupider, and you're like, oh my God, I can't watch this. So I don't try to.
Arunoday, hi. So good to see you. You're bringing some really interesting projects and are clearly in the mood to wow the audience. Pehle to ye Kali Kali Aankhein, we all loved you in that. And now you're back with Apharan too. This is what you're happy to focus on, right? To keep the audiences in the mind space where they do not really know what to expect from you next.
That is correct. And if that's happening, then I'm very grateful. Any actor, that's what they want. They want, and I especially want that. Yes, be wowed by me. It's funny.
Yes, and the fact that you haven't really had a predictable journey, does that really make the entire experience a lot more special?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah, I love the fact that I'm still working. I'm very happy.
So what mind space were you actually in, when you got the script for Apharan 2?
Well, I've definitely tried to get a little deeper into the character. Not in a pretentious sort of way, just trying to understand him better so I can play him more naturally. Differences a lot because it's a totally different situation. It's the same guy, but it's a completely different story. So some challenges are the same. Love life, he never seems to get right. His work's always kicking his ass. Life is always kicking his ass. But there's a lot of new challenges that I can't really talk about because then I'll give it away. But it's a much more traumatic journey. There's a lot more that happens to him.
The expressions that we usually associate with you, Arunoday, are either of threat, mystery, or drama. Why is love never associated with Arunoday? And it's not just love, not even humor is linked with you. Is there a specific reason for that?
I don't know, girl. You'll have to ask the people that make these things. They just don't think I look very loving.
So do you actually have a big board right outside your house that say that strict no to scripts that have either love or some humor in them?
काम लाओ रुका हुआ हूँ काम के लिए. No more work please. It's a perception thing, I think. When the right thing comes, it'll come. Till then, I just enjoy I don't worry about these things.
Yes, right.
Because I don't know why it's happening or not happening. And if I worry about it, then I just get stressed. And why get stressed? Life's too short.
True.
And if I was getting no work and then I was worrying about, काम क्यों नहीं मिल रहा है? लेकिन काम मिल रहा है.
And have you ever found yourself in a phase, when you actually thought that right scripts and fleshed out characters weren't really coming to you?
In that phase now. I'm always in that phase. That's how actors are. Yeah, no.
And with Ekta Kapoor, I mean, she's known to understand the pulse of the audience really well. She knows, what would be an instant hit with the viewers. So what was the association with Ekta like?
How sweet. I wasn't creating or directing the show. So my collaboration with her is just as an employee to a boss. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
I can't take much credit for any collaboration with her. She's, like you said, she's very good at what she does, and she's just very good at what she does. So she knows what she's doing, and under her aegis, it's an easy thing to do. It's easy to work. And you know that you're supported, and you know that you have somebody in your corner that's powerful and capable.
And how exactly did you prep for the character? I mean, there's a very different language that you speak. The body language is also very different. So, were there any specific do's and don'ts that you kept in mind?
Well, I don't know how well I did it because I definitely think I could do better. But it was fun to do, and between Siddharth Sengupta, the creator of Apharan, who also directed the first season, and Varun Badola, who wrote all the dialogues, and my own little research, but mostly just being guided by them. And Varun is from Uttarakhand, and he understands the language, and he writes so beautifully. So basically just talking with him and trying to sound with his rhythm was more valuable than anything else. I think Varun Badola and Siddharth Sengupta get all the credit for how well I did what I did. And whatever was left to improve, I get credit for not having been able to do that. So I get to try again this time.
Arunoday, you're known for playing intense characters. Now, do these parts ever rub you off? Are there any residues that are left because the characters that you play and then impact your life at all?
Well, that's very sweet. But I can't claim to be working at a level where that's happening. One day I shall be that good, but I'm not Daniel Day-Lewis anywhere close yet. So there's not a lot of residue, but like the accent stays for a little bit. Maybe the way the person speaks, it stays a part of you. It's like, even for a regular person, if you like a character in a movie and you like saying their dialogues, it's the same thing, like sometimes just in your normal life, suddenly you'll start sounding like Amitabh Bachchan or Scarface or something, because it's just a part of you. So like every now and then, inappropriately, I'll swear like Rudra swears just out in the market, and everyone finds it very funny. So my mother's obviously very proud of me.
So would you like to give a peek into the phase when professional domain enters your personal life?
The same thing for me.
Like a dialogue.
Otherwise, it's the same thing. The only difference is the people and the fans and all that. That's all outside of me. But inside of me, professional, personal, no difference.
How do you interpret the evolution of cops on the big screen?
One would have to be a lot more knowledgeable than me to answer that question properly. I'm just glad to be part of a piece of a whole, but I can't answer that intelligently enough to actually answer it.
Is there any cop portrayal that has stayed with you for a longer time?
Well, my references are always slightly more Western because that's more of the content that I watch. So my favorite cop portrayals were Denzel Washington in Training Day. That's a badass cop. And The True Detective, the first season. I thought that was brilliant.
And do you revisit your own projects? I mean, do you ever think about the way certain things could have been done differently? Does that thought ever cross your mind?
That's a very dangerous thing to do.
Why?
Because if you don't learn the right lessons, then you're always feeling regret. So I'd rather not feel regret. I'd rather learn the lesson and move on. And plus, you're always a little sillier in the past. You know what I mean? Like you look at yourself and you're like younger and stupider, and you're like, oh my God, I can't watch this. So I don't try to.
And how do you see your journey so far, Arunoday? I mean, are you absolutely happy, satisfied with how it shaped up? Anything you could have approached in a different way?
Well, I'm definitely very blessed to still be working and to be doing better work. And I think I've improved a little bit, which is nice. I definitely could have networked a little better had I understood how it worked. I was too green. I wasn't from here. I didn't know how this place worked. And I didn't have anybody to explain it to me. So if I could go back, I would do a better job of marketing myself in a little way, try to find out more things. But I think for what I was able to do and within my capabilities, I did okay. I could have definitely done better, but that's not up to me. You know what I mean? Like that's the work that comes to you, that's supposed to come to you, and some of it's supposed to do well and some of it's not. That's not in your hands.
So is there a plan that's already ready for the next 5 to 10 years?
World domination, madam. I am done playing around. Yes, I'm done fooling around. Now I'm getting serious now. It's too much. I don't have time to waste. I'm going to give this everything I have. And I've always been giving this everything I have, but now with mercenary focus. I'm way better than people think I am. I have to prove it.